Breaking news. I don't know why the mainstream media is not telling you about this. The Democrats are trying to steal Christmas. There's a Democrat governor called Gavin Newsom. He's the current governor of California, and many people consider him as the top presidential candidate to replace Joe Biden in the coming presidential election. But did you know that Gavin Newsom is trying to cancel Christmas? Just last week, he canceled California's Christmas tree lighting ceremony. This is a Christmas tradition that goes back to the 1930s. I'm not aware of any time in almost 100 years that it has been canceled until Gavin Newsom. Instead of experiencing a tree in person, they did a virtual tree lighting that people had to watch from home. The area around the tree has been barricaded, and signs have been put up warning that anyone who trespasses to see the Christmas tree will be arrested and prosecuted. What is going on? Not only that, Gavin Newsom canceled the Christmas market. In Sacramento, every year, they hold a Christmas market where you can bring your families, buy Christmas gifts, and do holiday activities. Not this year. It is canceled. Where are people going to get their Christmas gifts? And what are all these small businesses going to do that relied on sales during the holiday season? With one executive decision, Gavin Newsom is putting all these companies out of business on Christmas. There was a show I used to watch as a kid. It was called How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And it was about how the Grinch stole the Christmas tree and stole everyone's presents. Well, that's exactly what Gavin Newsom is doing. He stole the Christmas tree and everyone's Christmas presents. The reason he did this was because the Palestinian protesters announced that they would protest at the California Capitol during the Christmas tree lighting ceremony. They are angry because they feel like Gavin Newsom has not publicly spoken out against Israel. Gavin Newsom had a lot of ways he could have responded to this. He could have let them protest in a separate area. He could have increased security. He could have told the protesters, no, you're not going to stop the ceremonies we've been doing for the last 100 years. But instead, he decided to cancel Christmas. Why would he do that? Even Elon Musk commented on Gavin Newsom's cancellation of Christmas, posting on Twitter, wow. When you start to look closer, things start to look even creepier. It turns out that under Gavin Newsom, any mention of the word Christmas has been removed from California websites. If we look at the press release from 2019, the event was called the Capitol Christmas Tree Lighting Ceremony. But this year, it was simply called the Tree Lighting Ceremony. Isn't that strange? Why did they change the name? In the 2019 press release, they mentioned Christmas 5 times. In the current press release, Christmas is not even mentioned once. Why is he removing any mention of the word Christmas? I looked a little closer into this. It turns out the Democrats have been waging a war against Christmas for some time. Think about that for a minute. Out of all the problems in the world for them to worry about, the Democrats have made part of their agenda to destroy Christmas. Here's a clip from a speech Donald Trump made when he was running against Joe Biden for president in 2020. And he talked about Christmas.
If he comes in, Carson City will become a ghost town. And the Christmas season will be canceled. Look, remember I said we're going to bring back Christmas, right? The name? Remember? We brought it back, right? Remember? I used to go around saying we will bring, because I saw these big department stores, you know, they thought it was politically correct. So they say, have a great season. I said, no, I don't want to have a great season. I want to say Merry Christmas. Say Merry Christmas. Right? Now they're all saying Merry Christmas again.
Donald Trump told us that if Joe Biden was elected, that the Christmas season will be canceled. It turns out that Donald Trump was right about this the whole time. Why didn't anyone listen to him? Let's get back to Gavin Newsom, because I think it's important to understand who this guy is. Remember the COVID lockdowns? California had one of the most severe lockdowns in the nation. But while the people in California were suffering, Gavin Newsom was doing something different. This is a photograph of Gavin Newsom at a dinner party at a restaurant called the French Laundry. This was during the height of the lockdowns. In case you've forgotten, the restrictions were that restaurants were only allowed to have outdoor dining. People had to social distance, you could only gather outdoors, and of course, people had to wear masks. This restaurant claims this room is considered outdoor dining, but it doesn't look very outdoors to me. Additionally, just hours before this dinner party, Gavin Newsom announced state guidelines telling people to cancel their Thanksgiving plans and that groups should not contain more than 3 households. Now look closely at this photo. Is Gavin Newsom following any of his own rules? No, he's not. What is even more shocking is that 2 of the people in this photo are high-level members of the California Medical Association. Now, I'm trying to think from Gavin Newsom's perspective, but I just can't understand this. Why would someone do something like this? He just told everyone hours before not to gather. The entire state is suffering from draconian lockdowns, and he is laughing it up at a party. That's pretty evil. 10 days following the release of this photo, Gavin Newsom increased COVID restrictions, starting to require everyone to wear masks outside and announcing a ban on indoor worship at churches. This happened on November 16th, right before Christmas. So it turns out this wasn't the first time Gavin Newsom tried to cancel Christmas. Now, we also need to talk about who Gavin Newsom is married to. Jennifer Siebel Newsom. They were married in 2008, but they do not refer to each other as husband and wife. They refer to each other as partners because it is a gender-neutral term. So she is not the First Lady of California. She calls herself the First Partner of California. Isn't that odd? For any of you who are married, do you refer to your spouse as partner? Or do you call them husband and wife? I just find it all a little strange. So who is Jennifer Siebel Newsom? She's a former actress. She was involved in a scandal in 2021 when she allegedly tried to bribe Rose McGowan to remain silent about Harvey Weinstein. Rose McGowan is one of the people who started the Me Too movement when she spoke out with rape allegations against Harvey Weinstein. This is video of Rose McGowan on a show called The Rubin Report, explaining the interaction in her own words.
So yes, Governor Newsom, his ex-wife, Jennifer Siebel Newsom, I think that is her name, yes. She called me. And she set up a meeting with me to meet her somewhere in Brentwood. And I actually went, and I got very creeped out, and I saw her sitting where I was supposed to meet her, and I looked at her, and I turned around and went back into my car and drove away. She wanted to meet me. She reached out to me.
When is this? Just to be clear?
This is about 6 months before the New York Times article on Weinstein that I set up broke.
Okay.
And she called me on behalf of a Theranos board member, the longtime lawyer of Hillary and Bill and Clinton and Weinstein, one David Boyce. So this woman, I don't know, some blonde lady named with the last name of Newsom, cold calls me, and it's like, David Boyce wants to know what it would take to make you happy.
6 months before the Weinstein story. What it would take to make you happy, which you took as, for those that might be playing along a little bit slowly?
I don't know. I don't know if it would be fiscal remuneration. I don't know. Absolutely nothing would make me happy. You falling off the planet, David Boyce, and your whole company. If you all fall off the planet, I would be happy. Since you cannot do that, I will remain unhappy with you, and you shall deal with my displeasure. But they're scary. These are operators. They're tied into SDK Knickerbocker. They're tied into Hillary. They're tied into Nancy Pelosi. This is all backdoor bullshit for their gain, and we're tired of it. We're suffering. People are dying.
Rose McGowan posted emails on Twitter between her and Jennifer Newsom, where Jennifer admits to her interactions with Rose and explains that she was not trying to bribe Rose. Instead, she was trying to help Rose take Weinstein down. But this is all very confusing. She contacted Rose specifically on behalf of Weinstein's lawyer, David Boyce. If she was trying to take Weinstein down, why would she do it on behalf of Harvey Weinstein's lawyer? It is also well known that Harvey Weinstein was a massive donor and fundraiser for Jennifer's husband, Gavin Newsom, and the Democrat Party. Now let me be clear, because I don't want to be sued here. These are allegations. We do not know for sure if Jennifer Newsom did or did not help Harvey Weinstein cover up his rape victims. All I can do is report on what we know, the public statement by Rose McGowan and the emails where Jennifer Newsom admits to her interactions with Rose. But I do think it is relevant to look at the exact quote that Jennifer allegedly said to Rose. David Boyce wants to know what it would take to make you happy. Strangely, Rose McGowan has removed her posts about this from Twitter. If Rose's statements are true, that means that Jennifer was paying bribes to cover up the rapes of Harvey Weinstein. What kind of person would do that? That's pretty evil. Since then, Harvey Weinstein has been accused of rape by over 100 women. He was arrested and convicted of rape in New York and also in Los Angeles. Here's what I'm trying to figure out. Why do people think that Gavin Newsom should be president? These sound like awful people to me. Am I missing something? Let me ask you, if anyone is watching this video from California, can you confirm this for me? Is Gavin Newsom a bad governor? Because from the outside looking in, it looks like he has destroyed the state of California. Between 2021 and 2022, 818,000 people moved out of California. That's almost 1 million people. That's a massive exodus. Cities like San Francisco have become disaster areas with drugs, homelessness, crime, and looting. A newly released report from the San Francisco Comptroller's Office found that nearly half of the city's commercial sidewalks had poop on them in 2021 and into 2022. The local residents have even come up with a name for this called the poopy dance to describe how they have to walk down the street and constantly jump around to avoid stepping on all of the poop. I would think the most basic job of politicians would be to at least keep the poop off the streets. Why can't Gavin Newsom do this? But wait a minute, it turns out that he can. In November, the president of China, Xi Jinping, visited San Francisco. In 48 hours before the event, they cleaned up the streets. Here's a photo of people in hazmat suits cleaning up the poop. Here are photos of before and after so you can understand how crazy this change was. This all shows us that they can solve the homeless problem at any moment in 48 hours. They can solve the problem, but they choose not to. Correction, they won't do it for you, the voters, but they will do it for some reason for the president of China. Why is that? That's strange. Why is the Democrat Party more interested in impressing China than the voters? I hate to break this to you, but you are all getting screwed. These politicians don't care about you. They're destroying your state, and now they're trying to take away Christmas. Gavin Newsom has taken away your Christmas tree. He's taken away your presents. What are you supposed to do? I was thinking back to that movie about the Grinch. Do you remember how it ends? The people in the town wake up on Christmas morning and they find they have no presents, no decorations, and no tree. And do you know what they do? They start to sing. Every who in Whoville came together and they still celebrated. The Grinch was not able to stop Christmas. It still came anyway. I want to suggest that Gavin Newsom cannot stop Christmas. He can try. He can take our tree. He can take our presents. He can shut down churches. He can remove the word Christmas from the websites. He can try and censor us. He can arrest us. He can throw us in prison even. But it's not going to work. Because this is what he does not realize. As long as we keep the spirit of Christmas alive in our hearts, he cannot stop it. Christmas is about celebrating peace on earth, goodwill towards men. All men, women, and children. Caring about the people in our lives and celebrating the opportunity we all have to make the world a better place. As long as we stand up and say, "No, Gavin Newsom, you cannot take this from me," he's going to find out, just like the Grinch in that story, that you cannot stop Christmas.